Hmm. I always choose to throw up on the bathroom floor. There's no way I'm cleaning up my own shit. That sounds absolutely horrifying. I would puke again just from having to clean that up. Or I could clean up my own vomit without puking again.
Never had to make the choice.
It's a rough choice.
I'm singing the diarrhea song from Chappelle's Show in my head.
Diarrhea.
That's not the diarrhea song from Chappelle's Show.
Family.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Hard Reset, a Cold North production where Andrew apparently has very firm opinions on which he would rather clean up, his poop or his shit, or his shit or his vomit.
Clean up your poop or my poop?
Probably.
I don't know.
Mine.
I've had to clean up a dog's poop on the floor after they projectile diarrheaed all over our living room, and I just walked out and was like, "Nope, this is my roommate's problem. If I go in that room, I'm gonna fucking puke everywhere." So I don't know.
I mean, as long as it's not carpet.
Oh no, it was hardwood, but it was liquidy poop. It was disgusting.
Yeah, but liquidy poop. It's I mean, yeah. Well,
just hearing him out there gagging, I was like, "Oh, sweet Lord!" I'd light a candle in my room and everything just to keep it away.
Pulled a Billy G. Back when Billy G worked at Marshall's. Was it Marshall's, Ben? He just went in to clean the bathrooms one time, and someone had taken a shit in the urinal, so he just left it there his entire shift. And as he's leaving, he's stops in to his boss's office, and he's like, "All right, I'm out of here. By the way, someone shit in the urinal."
Ugh.
Yeah.
I remember Zach telling me a story where some guy did that exact same thing in Natural Grocers, but one of the security guards saw the kid coming back out and was just like, "Nope," and he just grabbed the kid and dragged him back into the bathroom. And was like, "You shit in the urinal? You're cleaning it up."
Good. It's impressive security at Natural Grocers. Anyways, I am your host, Patrick the Law Morris. Joining me this week, we have gorgeous Ben Reynolds.
Meow.
And with his schedule correct this week, the effervescent Andrew Etchen.
Hello. I don't even know what effervescent means.
Probably.
Rambunctious, high energy.
Bubbly. I like
Bubbly.
that. Yeah, sorry for falling asleep all of a sudden last week, folks. I know you missed me.
Yeah, everyone, we all missed you. Luckily, Tim was able to step in, but we did miss you, and we're glad to have you back. You can find everything we do all in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com. Coming up on Hard Reset. The best website ever. Coming up on Hard Reset this week, we have a rumored resurrection of a long dormant franchise, speculation on a new Nintendo Direct, The Simpsons are headed to E3, the latest in the land of The Last of Us rumors, and for our topic of the show, the long overdue spoiler-filled discussion of Red Dead Redemption 2.
That one sentence was too much alliteration with L's.
La 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 la.
The land of The Last of Us rumors?
Yeah, too much.
The latest in the land of The Last of Us. Yeah, I guess that is a lot of
Love
L's. But before we get to all of that,
taking L's all over the place.
I'm taking L's. That's all I'm good at. Well, I'm not Ben playing 2K, so
burn.
No, because I take
sweep the leg. Why don't you?
Oh yeah, Ben gets W's. I've heard Ben. Okay, quick story. One time, Ben and I were on game chat, and we were talking, playing separate games. Ben was playing 2K, and I just hear, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I just hear when you hear something brush up against the mic, just a bunch, and then it went dead. And I just get a text from him, broke my headset, going to the store.
Oh no.
So anyways, before we get to all of that,
anger in check, my brother.
I want to know what you guys have been playing this week. Ben, tell me what you've been playing this week.
I guess I probably played Forza the most. Forza Horizon, excuse me. I played a lot of that. And, I have over 100 cars now, and it's just kind of fun to get on and drive around,
Sounds like a fun VR game.
Yeah, that would be fun in VR.
Although you got to be careful. I've done driving games in VR, and I did get motion sick afterward.
Yeah, that's true. So Ben, you mentioned that, and I thought this was really interesting, so I'm glad you brought Forza Horizon up. You mentioned that you got a similar like incentive to keep playing that we get in GTA. So you got a bunch of spins, right?
Yeah, I got gifted 10 ultimate spins, which ultimate spins, instead of it just being one spinning wheel, it's 3 spinning wheels, and you get all 3 prizes.
Oh,
And so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got a lot of really good stuff from that, and that was pretty cool.
And it was just,
that's cool.
Was it like any promotion, or was it just, hey, welcome back? You haven't played it.
Just like a random player was like, hey, brother.
Just, I don't know. There was some message. I didn't read the whole thing. It just said you had been gifted 10 ultimate spins, and I was like, oh, yeah!
Probably some fucking Prince of Saudi Arabia desperately waiting for Ben's response.
God, those rare moments where you like don't play a game and that happens.
No, that's actually, so that is a really cool way, I think, that for online games that are primarily online to drive gameplay. And we've talked a little bit about this before with Grand Theft Auto Online, in how they continue to bring us back by, like, you know, you log in and it says like, hey, we see you haven't played in a while. Here's $300,000. Like, go have fun. And I think that it's kind of cool for games to give you that, like, hey, here's some spending money, go have fun, and go do something new.
That, or like when you play an online game and you like just start and you're like a level 1 and you walk up in like some city. I've had moments like that playing like ESO and stuff, where you walk in as a level 1 and some like max level guy just walks up to you and is like, here you go, noob, and just dumps a bunch of like really awesome shit on the ground, and you're just like, what? Oh my god. It's like,
yeah, I mean, it's cool stuff, and I think that that's a really good way. I think that that's a really positive means of player engagement.
It was a problem for things like that in GTA when people hacked the game and just were making fake money and then gifting it to people, and then they had to get rid of the gifting system in GTA because of it.
Oh, that's true. It was a huge problem, and then Ben and I were. What was it that we did, Ben? I think there was that one money glitch that we just spammed for hours on end.
Yeah, that Ethan found, where you bought like a truck and you put like a bumper on it or something like that.
I think it was a certain rim.
Yeah, that's right. You got a certain rims, and then it sold for like
your total profit was like $37,000 or something per truck, which ain't half bad.
Although when you think about the fact that we just literally sat around for like multiple hours of time chatting with like 4 of our friends while we were all doing that same glitch.
Fucking losers.
Like, yeah.
No doubt about that.
Currency.
Yeah. Okay. What's really sad is I bought a Hydra with the money I made with that. Like, I did not make an insignificant amount of money on that.
I don't remember what I bought with that. With my gifted money, I bought my fucking first really nice apartment.
Oh, yeah.
I think I bought some cars and stuff, too. And then with maybe I bought my tank with that, or else I feel like I kind of actually genuinely earned my tank, though.
No, I think that you bought the tank around the same time I bought the Hydra. And I think that you bought the tank and I bought the Hydra.
Because I remember when I had the tank, I was the only person who had anything like a tank. And so it just was automatically like Ben wrecks all.
And just everyone gang up and fuck up Ben.
Yeah, because you couldn't. If you'd had a Hydra, you would have been able to blow up my tank pretty easily.
That's true.
You were not able to blow up my tank very easily.
That's true.
It was genuinely like Ben wrecks everyone if I pulled my tank out for a while.
Yeah, that's true. So coming back to Forza, I think that that's a really cool means of player engagement and like encouraging players to keep coming back to a game.
Absolutely. Well, and there's some really freaking cool cars in there. Like the other day, I got back into the bidding wars, and I was trying to buy some Porsches, and I was getting really pissed off because like people just kept outbidding me on fucking Porsches that I really wanted right at the fucking last minute. And it was really.
Have you ever
annoying.
been on eBay? That's how you do it.
Well, yeah, but the thing about it is on eBay you can actually see a counter, which on those games you can't. So like I feel like
It's
those
like
people
ending
must
soon.
literally set timers based on when it changes to like ending soon, and they must know that timing, and then they must like go based on their time. Because
Oh man.
I was literally getting snaked at the very precise last minute before the like auctions were ending, and I was like, I don't understand how you're doing that.
It's people that are getting fucking really good at the meta game there.
Yeah, and so that was annoying me. But then all of a sudden I hopped in there, and it was like, because there's like a little thing where it pops up like cool new auctions, and somebody was selling some Lotus for way under the value of it, and I was just like, yeah, buying that.
Nice. Yeah, the auction house remains my favorite part of that game. That's just such a cool inclusion in that game. So I might jump back into that with you sometime this week. But Andrew, tell me what you've been playing.
I've been playing more Warframe. I've been playing that game a bunch recently, and actually, speaking of getting in-game money, like in Warframe, you know, a big like draw of the game is that anything that you can pay actual money to get, you can also just get in the game. But I recently discovered the glory of the trade chat channel, where you can get these items really easily in the game, where you do these runs and they give you pieces to build like really like special equipment, and people always want that stuff. And you can go into the trade chat and just be like, oh, I'm looking to sell this thing, and you'll just get blown up by people, and people buy it from you for the money that you pay actual money for. So you can go in and really easily you can get the stuff super easily, and then just go in and be like, all right, I'm selling these like 15 things for like 5 each, and boom, you get, you know, easily can get enough of the platinum is what it's called, but you can get enough of it for like what you would, the equivalent of like paying $10 to get like an amount. In like 5 minutes of just selling stuff that you don't need, you can get more than that. So I was doing that for a while and learning that, oh my God, I can just sell all this crap that I have been like just getting tons of, and then just buy the things that are really like RNG locked that other people have magically gotten and are selling. And so suddenly I was doing real good. And now I'm flush with cool shit.
Huh. That sounds a lot like the Diablo 3 marketplace when they first launched, the auction house.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been enjoying that, because like there were certain things that I was trying to farm for that I was like, man, these are just not dropping, and it's just impossible to get these, and like the chances of getting them are just so low. But there's so many people playing and so many people that have gotten stuff that you can just go on and be like, oh, that guy's selling one. And so like, for instance, I went in and I had a thing, and I was just like, I'm looking to buy this thing. And suddenly I got like 15 messages from like 15 different people, all being like, how much you going to give me for it? One guy was like 30, 45, 25, and then one guy was just like, I'll sell it to you for 10, and I all I had was 10 platinum, so I was just like, yes, come here, invite me in.
Come on, let's go.
So you're like, you know, not only do you kind of, it's like first come first serve to jump on somebody and be like, oh, like I'll buy that from you, but also people tend to like bid to like sell things to you, which is even better. So, you know, stuff that's like really annoying to get that would have taken me like probably hours of trying to like do it over and over and over again, you can just hop in there and be like, oh. And then what's even better is you sell some stuff of your own, and then you see somebody else is selling something that you really, really want, and you just pick the guy that's selling it for the least amount of money, and you're like, I'll buy it off of you.
Buyer's market.
Boom. Yeah, and like so I've learned that the stuff that I at first thought was really hard to get is really not hard to get, because you can just play the market a little bit. And
so it sounds to me like you guys are just having fun with digital marketplaces, both of you,
but not spending real money in them.
That's right.
Yeah,
and respect there, right?
Actual money, just instead of getting other people to give me their hard-earned money. Which is even funnier. I love that.
Well, now I kind of feel like the odd one out because I have not been playing a digital marketplace. So I finished Red Dead Redemption 2 this week, hence the spoiler discussion. But I also started Red Dead Redemption 1 this week. And I'm playing it immediately after. I'm playing it as a sequel to Red Dead Redemption 2. And I'm having difficulty deciding if I'm impressed with Red Dead Redemption 1 in like how modern it is, because it really is like moving over. It does feel very similar to just playing Red Dead Redemption 2, or if I'm like less impressed with Red Dead Redemption 2 at this point because of how similar Redemption 1 is and how little they changed. But
that's that's the feel of a Rockstar game. Like,
that's true.
Or I hate the fact that when I go back and play Grand Theft Auto 3, it still feels like I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, what? That's dumb. I love the fact that I can pick those games up and and I know that tapping X will make me run fast.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that like, oh, it's stupid that they feel similar. I'm saying that there are certain quality of life improvements. Like playing Grand Theft Auto 5 is much more comfortable than playing Grand Theft Auto 4. And
absolutely, but a lot of that is like subtle changes.
Yeah.
I mean, cuz you still got to grab the controller and go.
That's true. That's true. I like that you had controller on hand for that. But yeah, no, I'm actually really enjoying Red Dead Redemption 1. It's strange going into like a cold open the way Red Dead Redemption 1 starts after knowing what happened in Red Dead Redemption 2. But it's because they weren't meant to be played that way. Of course, that gets a pass. But so far I'm really enjoying it. It's a really cool game that I think has aged, especially because of the Xbox One X patch, has aged remarkably well. So, if you ever get the chance on an Xbox One X, go check out Red Dead Redemption 1. It's awesome. But that takes us to the news at now.
The news show. It's the news show. We are now a news show, so breaking news.
All right. So THQ Nordic, a few stories for you. THQ Nordic has been very upfront about having literally dozens of games in development for a while. It sounds as though they're getting ready to show a couple of them off at E3, and rumor is a new Destroy All Humans game will be announced at E3.
That sounds fun. I love Destroy All Humans.
I do too. Destroy All Humans was released in 2005, and the follow-up, Destroy All Humans 2, was released in 2006. The first two games took place in the 1950s and were a mockery of Cold War-era alien invasion movies. And they were both really well received. So, Ben, Andrew mentioned he likes them. Did you ever get any experience with the Destroy All Humans games?
Nope.
Oh, man.
Oh, those are great games. Man,
I
remember just playing like the first and second one so much. Those games were so fucking fun. I actually would love to buy the one that's on PS3. I bet that one's probably pretty fun.
Well, funny enough, so while the first two games were received very well, and they were beloved by critics and audiences alike, yikes. The Destroy All Humans Path of Furon, which was it wasn't Destroy All Humans 3, but it was the third game in the series, released in 2008, and it was panned. I mean, it was bad. I think it got like a 3 out of 10 from IGN. Now, I would be really stoked if Destroy All Humans 3 was coming to PS4 and Xbox One and maybe Switch. Ben, you mentioned that you haven't played them. Are you at least familiar with them? Like, do you know what they are and where they, like, have you seen things about them?
Yeah. I mean, if it'd be cool if they remastered the first two games too.
Oh, that would actually be really cool. Like a collection of, you know, what would be, I would really like is like announce Destroy All Humans 3 and announce a collection of the first two in the same
Or
graphical engine.
no, what you just got to do is not even do that. Just basically announce Destroy All Humans 3 and then release 1 and 2.
Oh, like
remastered.
available now type thing.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really cool. That man, Ben, you're coming up with great ideas here. Second week in a row for you too.
Try.
I think that that would be really cool, but I think it's unlikely considering Destroy All Humans and Destroy All Humans 2 are both available on PS2 on PS4. Which, by the way, Andrew, if you want to go replay those games, I own both of those on PS4. So,
maybe one day. I've played the first one like 4 or 5 times. The second one I played a couple of times too, just because that one was so fun. I think there was one on the Wii also that I only got a little bit into, but
there was.
I think the second one was still one of my favorites.
Yeah. So I mean, I would be pretty stoked. What do you guys like? Just Ben, based off the information you have on the games, and Andrew, based off of your experience with the first two, what would you guys want to see from a new one?
Well, I remember
Cows.
yeah. I remember the one on PS3, I think, seeing a trailer for it where like as you'd be going around and like shooting your stuff from your like flying saucer, you could like destroy buildings, or you could like blow huge like chunks out of buildings. I think more like destructible environments would definitely be really cool if you could like throw cars into buildings and stuff.
Were the first ones free roam?
Kind of.
They were like open levels. So it's like it would drop you in a very large area, and you would be able to.
Open world would be something that I would like to see, where you could fly from the ground back to the mothership or something like that.
And then I mean, maybe if you could even cruise from like, yeah, that would be really cool if they had like
like the second one they had
major
like Japan
areas
and Los Angeles or something like that.
Well, yeah. If you could go from major city to major city, so like you fly up, there's a very large open playable area that is, say, like New York, and then you can fly up to the mothership, take the mothership over to like San Francisco, drop down to San Francisco, and there's a very large open playable area in San Francisco. Damn, Ben, you're full of ideas for games you haven't even played.
Online play too.
Online play would be sick,
so that we could destroy all humans together.
Oof. Man,
with as multiple different aliens.
I was really just thinking more of the first two games, but Ben is just on such a roll here. If like
THQ, give me a job.
Yeah, THQ. If that's not what you're making right now, walk it back, hold it for a while, hire Ben, and move forward with Ben's ideas.
I just want the return of the tremor gun.
There were so many really cool weapons, and honestly, I think that what made those games really, really great was how comedy focused they were. Because like there's a gun you can shoot people and it like makes them shit themselves, and then they're embarrassed and they run away, and it's like that's just some funny shit.
Yeah, you like shoot the probe gun at their ass and then their head explodes and their brain comes out for you to collect.
Yeah, exactly. Man, great games. Awesome. I
remember just walking around with like that detonator, like the little like remote bomb gun that you could shoot around, and I would just stand on a place and just get like the highest alert level and just start like destroying G-men.
Yeah. I would really like to have a Destroy All Humans 3. I think that it would be a good time. I think that it would be one of those ones that's like, it's a smaller title, but I would be really stoked on it. And considering that we're kind of closing out the generation, I'm not expecting major releases. So I'm cool with it. I would love to see a Destroy All Humans 3 come to this console, this generation.
1 and 2.
And 1 and 2 remakes. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So, in other news, Nintendo of America has announced via their official Twitter that their next Direct will be centered entirely around the upcoming Pokemon Sword and Shield. The Direct will take place at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on June 6th. And it will, like I said, it will be entirely about Pokemon. So, I'm less interested in Pokemon, and I'm more interested in what do you guys think that this is Nintendo making room for other things at E3?
I just want them to announce Metroid.
But they already announced that it's going to be, they changed developers, so it's...
Yeah, it's back in retro
see
sands.
something.
So Ben, I think that you're right that we won't see anything Metroid Prime 4. But Andrew, to maybe tide you over, people have been saying that a Metroid Prime trilogy collection coming to Switch is like that
would be really, yeah,
such a no-brainer.
That would be a lot of fun.
Maybe,
especially with the motion controls on the Switch, like I think that would work so well. Like I just remember that Metroid that was on the Wii, and that was like one of the most fun games I think I've ever played.
Yeah, that control scheme was very, very well suited for the Wii. So first of all, how are you guys feeling about Pokemon?
I can kind of take it or leave it.
I will play it.
I'm kind of with you, Ben, at this point. Like I'll play it, but I'm not like, I feel like they haven't given us enough to be excited about it. So,
well, I mean, I feel like the initial excitement, hopefully this gets us pumped again, because like initially I think we were all pretty excited, but there was just so little that it kind of like, because we literally both started playing an old Pokemon game.
That's true.
Because of it. And then we both kind of just like lost steam on that, which I kind of wondered if we would. But
well, let's get back to that.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah.
I'm down to. I'll pick up my. You know what? After we're done recording tonight, I will pick up my DS and I'll put some time into Pokemon.
That's because I slowed down mostly because I was super far ahead of you, and I was like, well, if we're gonna ever play each other, we'll have to let him catch up to me.
I will pick up my DS and I will play some Pokemon. But I'm kind of like, I'm just in a spot where I'm just very much like, I want to see more before I get real excited about Pokemon. Right now, I'm just not in that spot yet.
Well, I think that's what this is going to be. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact that it's happening right before E3, so that there is quite a bit of room for new E3 announcements. Get Pokemon out of the way, because Pokemon is their big release this year. I'm excited about not only the Pokemon Direct to get more into it, but the proximity to E3. Real quick, because we're going to be doing E3 predictions next week, but what's one thing you would really like? Andrew, you said Metroid Prime. What's something you would love to see come out of E3 for Nintendo?
New Zelda.
A new Zelda?
Yeah, like a return to the old styles of Zelda. Like I want Zelda.
Ben?
Mm-hmm. I honestly would. That's kind of the thing that or like a real like dedicated Switch Donkey Kong game or something, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Like
that would be really cool. A follow up to Tropical Freeze would be really awesome. Retro made Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze, so that is, and we know that they're working on Metroid Prime 4, so that probably won't happen.
Good point. I didn't even think about that.
But I'm with you guys about Zelda. Except I don't think that that's going to happen, but I would love to see.
Isn't it going to be like, isn't everybody saying it's going to be like, what's that one game with like Villager and shit?
Oh, Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
So Animal Crossing is going to. I mean, I have very little doubt that Animal Crossing will be at E3 this year because they've said they've announced it as a 2019 release. And,
Don't you think that's going to kind of dominate E3 for Nintendo?
I think
Which is
that
kind of unfortunate. And then
yeah,
I'm sure they'll give us more, maybe another character for
oh,
Smash.
I'm sure that that's going to happen. But
Yeah.
I think that if I could pick one thing that I think is somewhat realistic, I would love to see Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD both get ported to Switch.
Yeah, I would definitely play Twilight Princess again.
I would play the shit out of Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think about playing Wind Waker definitely. I mean, you always say it's so good. I just don't really like the animation style at all.
I didn't like the art until I didn't like the art on GameCube, but when they redid it for Wii U, I fell in love with it. So yeah, so I would love to see that. I don't know, lots to be excited about in the world of Nintendo with Pokemon coming out and E3 coming up. In other news, though, the official E3 Twitter has confirmed that the Simpsons writers and producers will be hosting a panel at the E3 event on June 11th. There have been a ton of Simpsons games throughout the years, pretty much since the NES. Do we think this is going to be a new Simpsons game?
Be funny if they did a Simpsons hit and run too.
I think that's a perfect
awesome.
world. Like,
yeah,
I think that like a hit and run HD or a hit and run 2 is best case scenario.
Well, I don't. Yeah, like what was the last Simpsons game? Was the one that came out in like 2008?
I think so.
Or I mean, besides the mobile one, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
There was Tapped Out, and
yeah.
But I think you're right, Ben, that the last one was the Simpsons game, and it was decent, but it wasn't hit and run.
No, it was trying to because it came out like a year after the movie, and it kind of tried to be like almost like the movie, and it was a long episode, but it was like almost like almost kind of like a Treehouse of Horror sort of type of episode.
Yeah, it was a fun game. But I feel like it just didn't scratch that same itch that Hit and Run did. Hit and Run, I think, is the epitome of Simpsons games. And Ben, I think you've played these games, but after the transformation of South Park games with Stick of Truth and Fractured But Whole.
Never played.
Didn't?
Never played neither. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Do you guys think that maybe The Simpsons would head in a similar direction as that and do really shake it up in that way?
Because those are like almost like RPGs, yeah?
Yeah. They're RPGs in the sense that like you create a character and you make choices, and it's like, I mean, basically, yeah, they're straight up RPGs.
I don't know if I would like. I've heard from a lot of people that those games are really good. I don't know that I would personally like playing them, and that's kind of why I've never played them, because I knew that they were like basically like South Park RPGs, and I was like, I don't know. Well, and that I also kind of have, because that around when those games came out is around when I kind of really started to like not watch South Park as much. So I don't know.
When South Park kind of took a pretty hard dive. In my opinion, I know a lot of people still love it. Yeah, no, I think I know a lot of people still love it, but I think that a lot of people are in agreement that it definitely took a dive when it started getting much more timely, and that's kind of when Stick of Truth came out.
Yeah.
But those games have been reviewed very well, so I don't know. I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens with The Simpsons if something happens. I think that at this point it is still very much an if rather than a what.
Well, I mean, it's more like a what is this panel going to be talking about?
Yeah. Andrew, I'm with you though. Hit and run. would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Where the map is more than just a giant circle.
It was great for a racetrack.
It really was. It
Man,
really was.
I remember when I was a kid thinking like, oh, this is so awesome. I'm like driving around Springfield. And then I got back to the Quickie Mart and I was just like, oh no, this is just a big circle. Like
there was like, I guess when you were like in the like part with like the school, there were like a couple routes there. But,
yeah,
like most of Springfield only had like one route.
Yeah,
that you could go through.
I mean, even considering how restricted it was,
And
still
were, like,
very well designed.
Because there was still like the like you could drive through the like tunnel for the we do.
Oh
we
yeah,
do.
the stone cutters.
Yeah, the stone cutters.
And I like thinking back on it. I guess it's funny to think because like Road Rage was a great game, but the Hit and Run is the one that everyone remembers. But like thinking back on it, Road Rage actually had much more realistic city layouts.
Well, didn't it actually become even a like arcade game?
Road Rage? I don't think so. I know that they got sued by Sega over basically they said that they just straight up stole Crazy Taxi. And I think they wound up settling because they did just steal Crazy Taxi.
But Crazy Taxi was also I think Road Rage was like a arcade game.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Sat in a car, with a steering wheel and stuff.
Simpsons Road Rage Arcade. Let's see. I mean it wouldn't surprise me. It was a really, really cool game. And I would love to see another Road Rage. I'd love to see another Hit and Run.
Simpsons.
Yeah.
2.
Honestly, even that I would be okay with. I would play it for sure. So,
have you watched any of the more recent seasons all the way through?
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with this most recent season, but I've watched pretty much all of them up until this most recent season. So, and I'm sure I'll watch this most recent season soon. I still keep up with the show. I like it. I know a lot of people really don't like it anymore. But I still enjoy it for what it is.
I just always kind of forget about it.
Yeah. I still enjoy it quite a bit for what it is. So.
Fair enough.
All right. And in the world of PlayStation exclusives, new rumors are indicating that we're getting a new trailer for The Last of Us Part 2 later this week.
Yay.
With a fall release date announcement to follow.
Oh, man.
Now, Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson just wrapped on their mocap scenes. Do we think that this game is going to be ready for the fall?
I mean, they've been working on it for a while, so I hope so. I want them to definitely take their time, though, because I hope that it lives up to the first one, because God, best game ever.
I don't know about best game ever, but it was a great game.
It was a great game. After playing Red Dead, which we'll get to, I'm absolutely not willing to say it's the best game ever. I enjoyed Red Dead Redemption 2 quite a bit more. But I just feel like this is just people being really hopeful. Being too hopeful almost to a fault. Because I just don't see this game being ready for the fall.
Yeah, probably not. I
think probably a fall. Like when do you guys think this game is coming out?
Never.
Yep.
It's just going to
be in development forever.
I see this game
we just couldn't do it.
I see this game being being like a fall 2020 release to coincide with the PlayStation 5 and to straddle the generation, yeah. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see what happens.
What this trailer looks like.
Yeah, if there is a trailer at all, I mean, maybe they'll be super ready. So, regardless, I'm I'm excited to play Last of Us Part 2 when it eventually does come out. But
Yeah.
it's certainly one that's like, leave it in the oven as long as it needs to be.
Well, hopefully the game is just all playing acoustic guitar.
just that one scene from the announcement trailer, just Ellie sitting there playing acoustic guitar. It's Rock Band 4, 5, whatever. Oh man, Ben, some of your ideas are great, but I think you've just proven that not all of them are. So, but now it's time.
I've got insider information.
Oh shit, that's breaking news. Now it's time for the topic of the show. You guys sing this one.
I don't want to.
It's
Go
the
on.
topic
You,
of the show. It's the topic of the show. And that's all I'm gonna go, 'cause it's the topic of the show.
Wow. I really appreciate that, Andrew. That was a great little jingle.
I could write
Are you going to turn it into a song and not let us sing that anymore?
I'm sorry. I asked you about Sorry. Okay. So topic of the show, we're talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. This conversation is going to be full of spoilers. So if you haven't finished the game and you don't want it spoiled, well, leave
Fast
now.
Forward or turn it off.
Yeah. Turn it off. Listen to No Refunds. You'll have a good time with that. Andrew, I'm sorry, but you're about to get the epilogue spoiled for you because you didn't finish the epilogue.
That's okay.
So, this game, to me...
Spoiler alert, John dies. Oh, no, wait, that's not possible.
That's right. No, so, talking about deaths, I mean, I guess we'll just jump right in there because I was really loving a lot of the characters. And I texted a coworker.
Did you just want Miss Grimshaw to stay alive the whole time?
I did. I wanted everyone to stay alive. I was like, and I texted a coworker and I said,
Except for Micah.
Except Micah, that rat bastard.
Yeah, he can burn in hell.
Yeah. But I texted a coworker and I said, oh God, they're all going to die. And I'm so glad that I was wrong. Because that was Arthur's redemption.
Well, and don't you think that part of... Well, I guess you're playing Red Dead 1 for the first time. But you must have met, what's her name now? McFarlane.
Yeah.
Don't you think part of his love for her is based on like Sadie too?
Part of John's love for
she reminds him of Sadie.
Yeah, because she does have very similar traits to Sadie, and I was so happy when Arthur was saying goodbye to all of these characters. So like when Arthur leaves Charles at the Indian reservation, and when I was like, thank God, like Charles is safe. He's out. I love Charles and he's safe. And then when he says goodbye to the Reverend on the train or at the train station, it was like this, Arthur is saving everybody.
Yeah, a lot of these like good characters get rescued in a way.
Yeah, I mean he gets them all out. Like Arthur sees it coming. He knows he's going to die of tuberculosis. But
aren't you able to play the game and make a decision so you don't get tuberculosis?
Nope.
No,
You're not?
You can't not get tuberculosis.
You have to do the mission for Strauss where you get tuberculosis.
Which makes sense,
It is
though.
unavoidable.
Which makes sense because that's kind of the entire point of the game is like, here's a man who knows he's dying and he spends his last days righting a lot of the wrongs in his life.
Or not. Well, I mean, I guess you kind of do have to do that, but you can still be pretty evil.
Yeah. So, Ben, tell us about how you can be evil because you were pretty evil.
Well, no, I actually ended up being pretty middle of the road, but I started out just killing a lot of people.
So you at the end, when you're presented with the choice of help John get away or go back for the money, you chose to go back for the money.
Well, yeah, obviously, because I figured I could help John buy a fucking farm if I got the money.
Go.
And I was like, John needs a farm because I know he's got it in Red Dead. I figured that's how he was going to get it.
I don't know how else he's gonna afford it. So Andrew, what did you choose?
I went and helped him escape.
I did too. And so I think that that's the moment where it determines if Micah kills you or if the tuberculosis kills you.
Yeah, and I know if you go and you kill Micah, you can get his pistols. Or you can kill him and then you can go back to where he died and you can get his pistols.
You can't.
Micah
doesn't die until John kills him.
Did John kill Micah in your playthrough, Ben?
Yeah, in the epilogue.
Dutch killed Micah in my playthrough.
Oh yeah, I guess Dutch did. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Which was awesome. That finale of so I was so happy when these characters were getting their goodbyes and they were out and Arthur had saved them. And then in the epilogue, when they showed back up, when I saw Charles and Sadie, and it was like, oh God, you two aren't safe anymore. I was just so upset that they were going to die. Like, I was sure that Charles and Sadie were going to die. And then when Charles got shot and Sadie got stabbed, I was like, oh my, you sons of bitches. You guys saved them and now you're going to kill them. But they both survived. Thank God.
Yeah.
So what would you say? So obviously the game has a lot of high points. What would you say was the low point for you guys?
Oh man. There was all sorts of like really sad moments in that game. I'm trying to sort of think of.
But wouldn't those be high points? Like, I mean, as far as like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
you meaning like things that we didn't like about the game?
Yeah. Was there anything that you felt maybe just wasn't like, not even didn't like, but just wasn't up to par with the rest of the game?
I don't know. I mean, I played the
spectacular game.
Yeah, I thought like literally every part of that game was just consistently like masterpiece worthy. Even random side missions that you would do, or like if you ever did the side mission where you help out the doctor who makes the robot.
Yeah, that one was cool.
And then you go back and like the doctor's been like killed by his robot basically, and there's just like a random like automaton like walking around that you never find.
Wow. This sounds like you guys played a totally different game than I did.
Like that. You think he's basically trying to resurrect Frankenstein the whole time, and then he takes the like sheet off and it's a robot.
Yeah. And then you go back in there like a couple days later, there's just a blood stain on the ground and the doctor's gone and the robot's gone, and there's this like electronic like basically like torch light that you can pick up so that you can just have like this special other version of a just like a lamp.
I never went back.
I only played the main story. And so this sounds so fucking weird to me.
Well, there's also a mission or a like thing that happens where like if you go into a certain house, you get abducted by aliens, and that's like the guy who like I was telling you about, who you're walking in the swamp, and he's like, "Hey, I need a friend."
Yeah,
and
the rapist.
He invites you into his house, and then he rapes you.
Oh yeah, and then if you go back to his house afterward, the guy like sees you and is like, "Oh my god!" and he like runs inside and locks the door. And so I just like walked up with the lasso and just like kicked the door in and just like roped his ass up and just carried him out to like a random part of the swamp and tossed him to a gator. Like
good.
I killed the shit out of him, definitely. I think I did it with like a knife. I stabbed him to death. Or maybe a hatchet.
It was definitely a very it was a very rare game, a very rare case where like I finished it and I immediately just wanted to replay it just for the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just wanted to play that story again.
One of the things I wish they had, I guess one of the disappointing moments, maybe I just never found it, but you know when you'd be in the swamp and randomly you'd be riding around and you'd find a dead body just like hanging from a tree, and if you stopped for too long, those like swamp people would come out of nowhere and try to like pull you off your horse. I really wanted a mission where they sent you to like find those swamp people or like find the origin of all that, but
and explain that more.
Probably my favorite mission was that one where you go into like the hillbilly, like crazy like cannibal hillbillies in the mountain, and you like go into their cave and save that woman.
Oh yeah, that was really cool.
I walked through there and slaughtered everybody. Like that was so satisfying. That was sort of like playing Far Cry, where I was just like, "Oh man, I don't even feel bad."
Yeah, that was really cool because it was like there were those machete.
Well, and then there's the serial killer too.
Whoa! Holy shit! I need to go play more of this game. Like that, playing just the story was awesome.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Where you like find all the serial killer like parts, and that's where you can find the that cow's skull as a mask that you can wear. Oh man.
Yeah.
Damn. This sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of like creepy parts. I loved like man, just like riding your horse around or like
the time I found the first, because like that was like I made a point of like anytime I would see lights turn on or lights while I was riding at night, I would go to them just because like if I was in some random place, I would go to the light.
Yeah, you find something cool like oh yeah, seriously.
A lot of the time it would just be like an interesting like person to talk to at a fire or something like that,
or like a weird KKK like rally moment.
Yeah, and
those are always really funny.
But then so like one time I just like walked up and I was like, oh cool, there's a light, and then it was just like a fucking like headless body hanging from a tree and like a bunch of limbs like underneath the tree and shit. And I was like, oh god, what the fuck?
What have I stumbled upon?
That wasn't even like an event. It was literally just I just thought the scripting of how they made the characters react at what I did was just like so perfect. Was I just like when I was like riding down the road and there was a house and the house had lights on, so I just was like, huh. And I got off and I just like, and it was nighttime, and I just like quietly walked around the house, and there was a door like kind of down. There was like an upstairs on like a higher part of land, and then a downstairs door that was a little bit lower, like down the hill. And I tried to open the downstairs door, and it was locked from that side. So I thought, okay. And I went up to the other door, and it opened. And I just like slowly like crept in and just kind of like looked around, and I went around the whole upstairs and was just like picking stuff up. And then I slowly crept down the stairs, and there were two guys, just like bandits, like sleeping. Just like one was like draped, like just like sleeping drunkenly, like slouched over a table and like sitting in his chair. And one was just like passed out on the floor. And I walked around the room really carefully and like collected all their stuff, and then just pulled out a shotgun and whistled. I like made him whistle, and both the guys kind of woke up and were like, "What?" And they both saw me, and they both like went like, "Oh my god!" And they both like scrambled to get up and get their guns. And I just like blam, just like kill both of them. But just the way that both of them like woke up to the whistle and then scrambled for their weapons to like stand up and everything, I just was like, man, it's like something straight out of a movie.
Yeah, that's something that this game did remarkably well. Was it like it created those stories that you like can tell your friends, and they're just these awesome, like fun, very unique personal stories that you had in this game.
And just like hunting animals was fun.
Oh yeah. So what was for you guys? What was the best moment of the entire game? Whether that be story related or like just something that a story that just happened to you.
I mean, my favorite story moment was definitely like towards the end, before you kind of make those decisions to like help John or do all that, when Dutch is like clearly kind of losing it and everyone's like, I don't know who the fuck to trust or like follow, and you're kind of just like man, he's like going fucking crazy. Like, what are we supposed to do about this? And just the way that they did that, and him constantly being like, you have to trust me, have faith. And you're like, God, I just want to like fucking kill you like right now. But
oh yeah, I wanted Dutch dead. So
just all of that I thought was so
powerful. It doesn't happen
powerful.
till Red Dead Redemption.
I know I'm excited for Dutch to be dead. Ben, what was your highlight moment of the entire thing?
Highlight moment.
Do you need a minute? Because I can go. Because for me, this is a no-brainer.
Killing those cannibal rapists in that cave. Oh, so fun.
Entire game
Yeah.
was the best moment
Yeah.
for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
The entire game was just the whole 70 plus hours.
I think my favorite
Every
moment also
single
could be
moment
that
was the best moment.
when you get drunk with the other guy in like that
Lenny.
first couple missions.
Lenny!
And just like get drunk with him.
That's a good one. I also like when you just like have the party at the camp. That's a fun
Man.
part.
When you get Jack back and you go to camp and everyone's
And
happy.
there's just having a party, and you get all shit faced at the camp, and everybody gets all shit faced at the camp.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, that's, I think, one of the most incredible parts of this game is that, like, it gives you these situations where you want to just sit down and just
And like take a
soak
break
this
from
in
it all.
and just drink
Yeah.
it in.
And then you watch him get his fucking head cut off.
What?
Wait,
Or
who?
no.
What?
No, he doesn't get his head cut off. He just gets shot in the head.
Who?
Oh, not Jack. It's not. That's what's his name? No, I wasn't. I was thinking of because you get what's his name back, and then later he gets shot, or he gets his head either shot in
Kieran.
the head or gets his head cut off. Kieran, yeah,
Yeah, Kieran gets his head cut off, and he gets
Oh,
sent into
yeah.
camp with his head in his hands.
No, it's not into camp. It's into town, isn't it? When you're fighting.
I'm pretty sure the
Oh
horse,
no,
like,
no!
rides into
You're
camp.
you're mixing two of them. Sean gets his head blown off after you get him back in town in Rhodes, and Kieran gets sent back into camp on his horse with his head in his hands.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
and then you
That's
guys
right.
go and like avenge him, kind of like that was another part that was really sad because I actually really liked Kieran.
No, so you don't go and avenge him. I think the moment you're thinking of is you're combining two moments now. Kieran gets sent back into camp with his head in his hands, but then when Jack gets taken, Dutch is like,
Now it's time to go.
everyone, we're all riding, and you all go for Jack, and you go to the Braithwaites and you burn that bitch's house down.
Oh yeah, where you just like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good part where you just lay waste to everything.
Yeah, man. But that's one of the most beautiful parts about the game is like it does force you, like there are moments it presents you and you don't have to, but you just want to sit down and relax and like enjoy it. And so like getting Jack back, everyone was so happy, and it's like I as the player was happy in that moment with them. And I just sat down at the campfire and I listened to the song and I watched everyone be happy, and I just
Did you not get drunk?
No, I did not get drunk.
Your Arthur hates you.
My Arthur hates me.
Yeah, you have to take a few shots with him just to like get in the moment too.
Lenny. No, and then also there was like, as Arthur had tuberculosis, and in chapter 6, I'm helping the Indians on the reservation quite a bit, and I'm traveling back and forth, and it was night, and I was like, I knew it was coming to an end, and I just wanted to spend some more time with my horse because I had the same horse throughout the entire game. And so
you never went and got the white horse that's up in the mountains, like the snowy mountains? Oh, I went and like got that. Oh man, that was a beautiful moment, like finding that horse and then taming it and like riding it back out of the snow. So cool.
No, I had the same horse the entire game, and like I just wanted to spend some more time with my horse, and so I just stopped. instead of riding to the next story mission, I just stopped and I made camp and I sat by the fire and I looked at my horse and it was like, this is so stupid that this is such a special animal to me. But like, I spent a really long time with this damn horse.
My dog.
Yeah.
You didn't put your horse down. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that.
Your horse dies.
Yeah.
Well, you could do it beforehand yourself by your own hands.
But for me, the absolute winner, the best moment of the entire game, and honestly one of the best moments I've ever had in any game, was Arthur saying goodbye to Abigail and Sadie and then riding back to camp, knowing he's saved everyone, but riding back to camp to face his absolute, like
That's just the way it is.
Yeah,
Things will never be the same.
Just knowing that he's riding to his
That's
certain
just
death.
The way it is.
Actually, one other like really awesome moment that I just remembered that's like not even a story moment, but just like one of those random moments that'll happen to you is, and this was something that that made me think like, wow, the game is really like living and breathing around you, whether you're there or not. Was riding out of a town. I was riding out of Saint Denis and like, and all of a sudden a guy is riding in on his horse and he just like sort of starts to like keel over and he just falls off of his horse in front of me. And I decided to get off and see what was wrong. And he had been bitten by a snake or something. And he was like, please, like, take me to the doctor. And I pick him up, I put him on my horse and I rode him into town and took him into the doctor. And when you bring him into the doctor's like, okay, I'm going to like bring him into the back room here. You can go.
You watch him get his arm sawn off.
And I walked into the back and like, and just stood there and watched, like, they had a whole scripted thing of the guy giving him morphine and then sawing his leg off or something.
Yeah.
And then he like takes the leg and just like throws it in a bucket, like to the side. And then afterward, before he even does it, if you're standing there, he's like, you might not want to stand, like, watch, like, this is pretty gruesome.
And he says something like, there's no need for you to be here. You did the right thing, but you don't have to.
He was looking at me and he was like, we'll figure out payment later. Like, don't worry about that right now. And then riding through town like days later and seeing a guy with no leg hobbling out, and he's like, hey, like, you saved my life. Like, oh my God. And, you know, he got me like a discount for some gun at the store. But just like that whole moment, I was like riding to go do something else. And I just like, that just happened suddenly. And I decided to just pick the guy up and help him. Yeah. And it led to like this whole moment that was
this whole miniature story
could have ever actually like done or bothered with, but had like being able to, the fact that the whole thing was scripted. You didn't just like drop him at the doctor and he was like, thanks. You know, you could walk into the surgery room and like watch the procedure.
And it was all like, rendered. It was all taken care of.
It was all done, like, very impressive.
Yeah, a lot of attention to detail. So, kind of wrapping up, I do have a few more things I need to ask you guys. How do you feel like this compares to the first Red Dead Redemption?
Never played it.
All right, Ben, your professional opinion for us.
I mean, it feels very similar and in a good way, and all the ways that you want it to, kind of basically. But it's a bigger world with more refined controls. So,
all right,
yeah.
And so, how do you feel it compares to other Rockstar games? Is this your favorite Rockstar game?
I don't know, man. That's too hard of a question. I just love them all so much.
I think gameplay wise and or maybe not gameplay, but like story wise and how like the character development is all done, I definitely think it's my favorite. But I would say GTA 5 is like more fun just because it's like, it's just what it is.
Yeah, story wise, I think that this is the best one, hands down, for me. But gameplay wise,
especially with like when you find stuff and he just writes in it in his journal and makes these little sketches. Have you ever like just pulled out his little journal and just flipped through the pages as you've gotten like really far in the game? Like he has so many little things he's drawn from just every little thing you encounter in the game, and it's like a weird nostalgia rush and reminds you of like all these things that happened.
Yeah, it's amazing. Story wise, hands down, this is my favorite. Gameplay wise, I think I prefer Grand Theft Auto 5. But this was a masterpiece for sure. So, what about Red Dead Redemption 3? Do you guys think that it's going to happen?
On PS5. I don't know. I guess from what I've heard,
I just don't understand what.
Seems like it was all wrapped up.
Yeah, I just don't know really what they could do unless they were gonna just do like stuff about like Hosea.
Hold on 1 second, guys. So sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Red Dead Redemption 3. Ben, you were saying you're not sure of what exactly?
I just don't know if there's any story left to tell in that unless they were gonna go to like Hosea or something like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opinion that it's like just leave it alone. But then also at the same time I'm like I wouldn't mind playing an entire game as Dutch and like rounding up the gang and like bringing them all together.
I think I'd rather play as Hosea than Dutch or somebody else that we don't know even.
Yeah,
I think a DLC as Dutch would be really interesting, like all of the in-betweens.
Oh, well, let's not let them get away with anything for DLC besides just a remake of Red Dead Redemption 1. But yeah, Hosea would be awesome. That would be I really liked Hosea as a character, so I think you're onto something there, Ben. But I don't know. Aside from just remaking Red Dead Redemption 1 in the same style or in the same like engine as Redemption 2, I'm not sure I really want any more of Red Dead Redemption.
Well, and I actually, because like they talked about how Hosea spent time away from everybody when he had that girl that he loved, or that woman he loved.
Oh yeah.
And so I could honestly see actually that being what they would go with.
Just becomes a farming sim.
Or I don't think that would be the case, because I think that he and the girl, because he talks about how she was okay with the life that they lived, so she was clearly
a bad bitch.
Down with it, yeah.
Yeah, she was an outlaw.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I loved Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm sure we'll discuss it quite a bit more in the weeks to come. But at this point, it's time to be wrapping up, so it's time for the weekly trivia challenge.
Trivia!
Can you guess the right answer? Boom. Ding, 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 ding.
All right, this week's weekly trivia challenge. Which webcam-like peripheral was released in 2003 for the PlayStation 2? Was it A, Natal, B, PS Cam, C, iToy, or D, Kinect?
C, iToy.
C, iToy.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Yep.
You are both correct. It was the iToy. And it was a little bit goofy. But I remember
the iToy sucked.
I remember the first time I saw it, I was kind of blown away at like, whoa, it's like tracking their bodies.
The only fun game was the window washing game. And the one where you fight off the ninjas.
All right. Well, that's all we have for you tonight.
Because that's when they started like having like you could take a picture of your face with fucking like 2K and shit and make yourself in the game.
Oh yeah, that was a really weird implementation for that technology.
Uh-huh.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's all we have for you tonight. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating or review on whatever platform you found us on. Make sure to check out our 5 stars, baby. Make sure to check out our movies podcast, No Refunds, the podcast that watches bad movies so you don't have to. Once again, you can find everything we do all in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com.
such an incredibly good website.
We'll be back next week with our final predictions around E3 2019. So until then, reset.
Squirt.
Reset. Ba-ba-bum-ba-bum-bum. I want to play more game.
Oh, Jonathan. So Pat, I bought John Wick 1 and 2 on fucking Voodoo, but Lionsgate doesn't let you share fucking their titles on movies anywhere.
Damn.